Expected today to deliver judgment in an application for leave to appeal the conviction and sentence of XXX murderer Henri van Breda. Breda's lawyers maintain that he was wrongly convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. Earlier this year, the court found him guilty of using an axe to attack his family in January of 2015 at their home in Stellenbosch. SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah is on standby with the latest. Vanessa, a very good morning to you. What do you expect to come out of the High Court in Cape Town in the XXX murder or case of Henri van Breda?
Yes, good morning to you. In just under a half an hour or so, trial judge Siraj Desai is expected to make a judgment in the defence's appeal application for both the conviction and sentence of Henri van Breda. You'll remember that Judge Desai earlier this year convicted Henri van Breda of the triple murders of his family members. That's his mother, his father, as well as his brother, and the attempted murder of his sister Marley. This judge also then sentenced Van Breda to 3 life sentences for the murders, as well as an additional 15 years for the attempted murder of his sister Marley. Now, of course, coming to this court today, we do expect a judgment in this matter. Henri van Breda's legal counsel, advocate Peter Botha, in his appeal application, said that this court had misdirected itself in placing too much weight on the circumstantial evidence presented by the state to convict Henri van Breda, saying that the evidence presented before court does not just point to him as being the only possible suspect in this matter. Now, of course, Henri van Breda's defense all along, since he was arrested and, of course, brought to trial, is that a balaclava-clad intruder wielding an axe attacked his family, first his brother and then his father, and, of course, he didn't witness the attacks on his mother and his sister Marley. The defense saying that the court had erred, for example, in coming to the conclusion that there was no possible way that an intruder could have gained access to the Van Breda's Desalze estate home. Of course, the state during this trial pointed out evidence, for example, to the lack of injuries, serious injuries to Henri van Breda. Where, of course, we know that the wounds inflicted on his family members had caused the deaths of his mother, father, as well as brother, and, of course, his sister Marley, very seriously wounded in that attack, and Henri van Breda, of course, coming away with a few superficial wounds. Now, of course, this evidence had been laid throughout the trial. Judge Siraj Desai had described all the pieces fitting together like a mosaic, saying that indeed was the only conclusion this court could come to, that indeed Henri van Breda was indeed guilty and, of course, sentenced accordingly. Now, of course, Van Breda's counsel also said that he was a first-time offender. I remember during mitigation of sentence proceedings, the judge had appealed to the defense, asking for some other reason why this court should show mercy on this on Van Breda. Advocate Peter Botha saying that other than the fact that his client was indeed a very young man and a first offender, because he insists that he is not guilty, he said as much, the judge, saying, Judge, my client says that he did not commit these crimes, and of course he couldn't offer anything further in mitigation of sentence. So in just under a half an hour or so, we do expect Judge Desai to make a judgment in this appeal application. Of course, the defense appealing both the conviction as well as the sentence, and in a short while we will expect to hear whether Judge Desai will indeed grant the defense leave to appeal. The state has opposed the application, saying that this judge had indeed not misdirected himself in finding Henri van Breda guilty of the triple murders as well as the attempted murder of his sister Marley.
Vanessa, what are the chances that Judge Desai could change his mind? Because it's true, all the evidence, no matter how thorough it may be, was circumstantial.
Yes, indeed. The evidence was circumstantial, and throughout the trial, the judge also had said that when one puts the pieces together of circumstantial evidence, the state indeed had a very strong case against Henri van Breda. Earlier last week, when the appeal was heard, the judge again made reference to this mosaic of evidence. Yes, circumstantial, but this court at least believed that the circumstantial evidence provided by the state, the fact that there was no, for example, proof that there was was indeed an intruder in the house, that Henri van Breda had come away with very, very minor injuries compared to the deathly blows which left his 3 members of his family dead. All this evidence taken in its totality, indeed, that the state had proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. And of course, all that remains to be seen now is whether this court will allow the defense an opportunity to ask the Supreme Court of Appeal to indeed overturn not just the sentences imposed upon Henri van Breda, but also indeed the conviction, finding him indeed guilty. And of course, the question will then depend on whether whether an appeal court, another court, could come to a different finding. That all rests on Judge Siraj Desai when he makes his ruling in this appeal matter in just under half an hour or so.
Well, as she stated there, the trial will be starting in just about in half an hour. Vanessa Poonah will continue to update us on that story that we'll be following for you.